Hey guys, it's Maymay, and today we are going to play with Memento Dewdrop ink pads, which we've played with before and created some really fun things. But today I'm going to show you how to make the balloons on this card, the hearts on this card, and are you ready for the surprise? This one came to me in a dream. You ready for this? Look at this. And the Christmas lights on this card. Yep, I said it. Those Christmas lights. I'm going to show you how to do that today. Before we get started, I wanted to let you guys know about something. In January of 2017, I'm going to have a little schedule change on my channel. We're not going to lose any videos. Nothing's changing as far as how many videos you're going to get. What I am going to do is change the days I upload. So if you'll stick around to the end, you'll be able to learn all that information. So if it's something that's important to you to know what days I upload, stick around to the end so I can let you know. But let's get started on these dudes. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is take out the Memento Dewdrop ink pad called Love Letter, and I'm also going to use rhubarb stalk, easy for me to say. The ones I showed you earlier were done with this color. Now if you're wondering, I carry these in the store. I'll link them below. They come in some kits and they're really, really super cute. Okay, let's start with Love Letter. I'm using a scrap piece of paper. I've taken the cap off of the little ink pad, and here's what you do to make the heart. Don't blink because you're going to miss it. You're going to stamp one time down onto the page with the full ink pad so you get the shape of the ink pad. Then I'm going to turn my page so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to focus on this point and making sure that my dewdrop overlaps in the middle of this guy. It really doesn't matter where, as long as your points meet up and it overlaps. You'll be fine. Press that down nice and flat, lift up, and you have a heart. Now it looks like two different colors, but as this dries, you'll see it start to turn into one color. Now that's the one done with Love Letter. Let's do one with Rhubarb Stalk. They are so easy to do. All right, so point down. Your first one, just stamp it down. Doesn't really matter where it goes. Your next one, check your point and overlap the side, and you're going to get a heart every time. Who needs a heart stamp when they got this, right? It's awesome. Then what I did for my card is I cut these guys out, and you can cut them out right to the edge. You can leave some of the edge if you wanted to show that kind of rustic, or what's it called, distressed. I never can get that word out, distressed. You can leave a little white so that distressed edge shows, and you can also ink these guys after you cut them. You could put some distress ink around the edges and kind of give them the little inking treatment. That'll be pretty. All right, so I cut these guys out for my card. And actually, I used this color for the card that I showed you earlier. And once I had it cut out, look, it's a little heart. It's a great little embellishment you made in no time. And then the last thing I did for my card was I took my gold metallic pen and I did this squiggly line that you probably can't even really see. I'll bring it up to the camera, but I just squiggled it around. You could also, let me squiggle with silver. You might can see silver better in the camera. Here's my silver pen. So then I squiggled it around. Yeah, the silver's pretty. Just a really squiggle, messy line inside the heart, just to give it some character. You could do a bunch with that. Let's bring this up. There you go. You can see them. There's the gold line. The silver line looks really obvious. So, hearts with your dewdrop ink pads. So these are the ones I did for my card. Remember, I used this color, but I used the gold around them. So there you go. Super easy. Two little hearts on a card. Now let's talk balloons. Here's what I did. I kind of needed some reference points for my balloons. You may not. You can so eyeball any of this, but I kind of wanted to know I was going to land in the right spot on my card. So I squared my card base up and I just did a pencil line down the middle of the card, really light because I'm going to erase this, and then about 1.5 to 2 inches down from the top of the card here. I'll show you what this looks like. I did not quite make it. There we go. So you see how I kind of gave myself like a grid in the top quadrant of the card? That's because I want to know where to start my first and then give myself some guidelines. I just needed that. You may not. You might could just freehand this. I'm using 3 colors that I think coordinate, which is also super fun with these guys because you can just lay them out and go, yep, I like that combination together. Super cute. All right, so for the balloon, we're going to take the ink pad and we're going to bring it point down, okay? So the round top is the balloon top. I'm going to use that little guideline I made for myself. I don't have to be perfect, but I just want to use it to kind of let me know where to stamp. So there's my first balloon. Give me a break. It's so cute. And I'm going to do another one. Now, I did a set of 3. You can do whatever you want. You can have one balloon going off the page, whatever you want to do. Here's where I'm going to come in this quadrant here, and I'm going to angle it toward the middle, like so. Super easy, guys. Super easy and fun. I love when one product can do so many things. And then obviously the purple out here to the side. Now I have made poinsettias out of these. I have made a reindeer out of them. I will be sure to link all of that for you guys so you can see those videos. Matter of fact, I think I'll make a playlist for these because I feel like these may be coming up a lot. So I'll make a playlist on my channel and I'll link it here too. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and erase these pencil marks. One thing you want to make sure of with the pencil mark is you do it very lightly, okay? And make sure your ink is dry before you start erasing. All right, so I've erased my pencil mark, and now I'm just going to take my pencil and make some little balloon lines go into the center bottom of the card, like so. And see how they're not perfectly straight? That's what I want. And then at the bottom, I made little bows just with a oval and an oval and a little tie, like so. So at the bottom of each one, an oval to one side. It's actually the same shape as the dewdrop pad is really what we're making, like a little teardrop to either side. And you might even have a stamp that you could do that with. And then I took my black pen and I just pinned all of this in with my black pen. So I'm just going right over that pencil line. I like to use a pencil first. Now you may be confident enough to not need the pencil first, and if so, go for it. So there I have done my pencil lines, and this is ready to go on the front of a card. Let's look at the one I did and I'll show you exactly how I finished it. Now see how glittery my balloons are? I took the Nouveau glitter in White Blizzard and I coated those balloons in that. It's really cute. It's super easy. I'll link that product below too. It's something like this. I don't have the White Blizzard one in here because I did this in another room. So it's something like this. It's just the glitter. You could use stickles. You could use Wink of Stella, anything. But I really like the texture and the dimension that I got from doing that. And there you go. That's how we make this with the Dewdrop ink pads. Now for what I think is probably my very favorite one. We're going to make this Christmas light card. First, we're going to prep the card. There's a couple things we have to do to prep, and I'm going to go ahead and take a 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece of cardstock, and I'm going to score it in half at 5 1/2. This is going to make my white A2 card base. So I've scored it, and now I'm going to crease it down. And I want to crease it down really, really well because I'm going to be working with this to put the pencil marks and things on it. So I want it to be really flat. I'm even going to stamp it. So I don't want it to have too much lift. Now I did my card in landscape, but if you want to do it in portrait, you just have to kind of change the way you do the lights. But I think landscape worked really well. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up and stamp my Merry Christmas stamp. The reason for this, I'm using a large Merry Christmas sentiment and I want to make sure I have room for it. So I'm going to start with stamping this guy into place. I love this Merry Christmas. I love this big Merry Christmas. This is from my Celebrate the Season stamp set, and all of that will be linked below. All right, the next thing we need to do is we need to decide how we want our lights to lay out. Now for the Christmas lights, I chose 4 colors that I wanted to use that felt kind of vintage Christmas to me. The green, the red, the blue, and the yellow. And all you're going to do is stamp these on some scrap paper. Now you can stamp these straight to your card project. However, I wanted them to be lifted up. I want to put them on dimension. So I'm going to stamp them onto a scrap piece of paper and then trim them out so that I can use them on the paper with some foam. So I'm just stamping these guys down, and I'm being pretty saturated with these. I'm like holding it there longer than I usually do because I really want these to have bright, vibrant color. That red's not as bright as I want it. I'm going to do it again. And you can do that because you're going to cut around these anyway, so it won't be a big deal if you get a little smear on the edge. Now let these dry. So I've given these a second or two to dry, and now I'm just going to trim them out. And I'm trimming right to the edge because these ink pads have made my Christmas light shape for me. So I don't have to do anything as far as changing the shape. I can cut right to the edge of the ink and get my Christmas light shape. So there's one. So easy. I love these kinds of things. I had to bring you this idea today because if you're a last minute card maker and you wanted an idea, this would be a certainly quick way to get a really cute card out. And if you have like a Brother Scan and Cut that will cut these out for you, you can totally let it do that. Also, I want to tell you this. If you don't have these inks and you have, say, a cutting machine like a Cricut or a Silhouette or something like that, you could just cut this shape out of different colors and make Christmas lights out of them. So many chances to do things with. All you got to really do is pay attention to the shape. And when you see something that's shaped in this teardrop look, you can probably make it with these Memento ink pads. They have been super fun to play with. So back to the card, I've got my little lights here. What I'm going to do is lay the lights out where I think I want them to go. And I think I want mine to be something kind of like this. And then I'm going to take my pencil and draw the line with the pencil first, because I can always go back and put it in after that. So I'm just going to take my little pencil. I'm going to move that light down a little bit. Take my little pencil. And what I like to do is kind of go up. And everywhere I want a light to connect, I just kind of do a little loop. And I'm not going to worry about that. I didn't feel like a loop fit right there, so I just went around and did another loop so I can move this if I want to and then bring this blue into here, and I'm actually okay with that. Just play with it. It's a Christmas light strand. It really doesn't have to be perfect. Now what I'm going to do is pin that line in, or this time I'm going to use a little marker. I just happen to have this little Pigma Sensei marker in my collection. It's like a 0.6. No, it's an 0.6, I think it is, and it works really good for this because it matches my sentiment. So I'm going to use this little marker and just go right over my pencil line. If you're a freehander, feel free to skip the pencil part. But my thing is, I kind of like to know that it's right where I want it. I do better that way. All right, so I've made my little darkened line. My pencil is showing in just one little spot. Erase that off. Now I'm going to take these guys and put them up on some foam squares. So I've just peeled off the backer and I'm just going to place my little light where I want it. It's not hanging off the edge of the card because I do want it to fit into the envelope well. Now you could totally stop here, but you know me, I can't do that. So here's what I did. I took a piece of cardstock, just a scrap piece of black cardstock, and I cut 4 little rectangles about 1/4 inch. I did not measure these. I literally did this. They're about 3/8 long, maybe 1/2 inch by 1/4 inch, something like that. Just eyeball them. And these are going to be the base of my light bulb on the end of our little stamped image bulb. And what I'm going to do is put a dot of glue on the end of each light bulb, just like so. This is the art glitter glue. I haven't changed. It's just in a smaller bottle. I want to make sure I said that because I love my art glitter glue. You know I ain't going nowhere from that. Then I'm going to take my quick stick because this makes this super easy and pick up one of these little guys and just place it in the glue. It doesn't matter if it overlaps the line or anything. It's no big deal because that little cord could go any old direction. And just flatten them into place. I didn't even worry about putting them on dimensional foam or anything. I just stuck them to the end of the bulb. But we're still not done. A couple more steps. I've got my silver pen and my white pen. And one thing I want to do is put some light reflection marks on the bulbs. So I'm just going to come to this edge and following the outside curve of the little shape of the bulb, I'm just doing these little light reflection pieces to give it a little dimension. Doesn't that change things? That's amazing to me. I'm going to do this one here. And I'm kind of making it a little thick. You see how I kind of thickened it up? And I'm going to do this one here. And then one more here. All right, so our bulbs have got their reflection mark, and now I want to put a little bit on the little connector pieces here. And what I did was just kind of make it look like they have like little threads, just 3 little lines. Now you could build all of that off of the card and then bring it to the card if you were concerned about that. That would not be an issue. So here is this one. Let's look at my original one. Here's the one I did first. How cute, right? I did these a little darker than I did these. You can tell that my stamping is a little heavier, and that's okay. Do whatever you like. I think they are super fun. So there's our Christmas lights, our balloons, and our hearts. How about that? So all of this using these cute little ink pads and so much more. Please check out my playlist. I'll put it below so you can see all the other things we've made. I love how these turned out. Let me know what you think. And let me know below how you're doing on your Christmas cards. Are you done? Are they mailed? Are you throwing some last minute ones together? Also, as I discussed earlier, in 2017, I'm going to adjust the way I upload my videos. The reason for this, for about 3 years now, I have uploaded on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, off and on Saturday, but now we do Saturday every Saturday. And what's happened is adding the Saturday video has messed up my Monday filming, which I love my Saturday video. It's one of my favorite ones that I do, so I don't want to change it. So what I'm going to do in 2017 is I'm just going to adjust from Monday to Tuesday. So we're moving 2 days. We're moving Monday and Wednesday to Tuesday and Thursday, just to give me a little wiggle room for filming and editing. So no worries. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not taking a video away from you. I'm just going to adjust a little bit so I have that extra day so I'm not behind when I get my Monday video up. All right, I'll keep reminding you of that because I don't want that to confuse anybody. But thanks so much for watching, and we want to see what you're making, so head over to Maymay Made It and So Did I on Facebook and share your projects with us. Thanks so much for watching, and Merry Christmas. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.